What if I told you that the single most effective thing you could do today to prevent a fall, more effective than any balance gadget, any grip sock, any bathroom handrail, is not something you buy, not something you install, and not a new exercise routine? The answer is simpler than that. It is a change in how you walk. One small, specific adjustment to a movement you have been doing your entire life and almost certainly doing wrong for the last several years without knowing it. After 26 years of working with adults over 70 as a physical therapist, I have seen this pattern more times than I can count. A person comes into my clinic after a fall. They feel confused. They feel embarrassed. They say, "I was just walking across the kitchen. I wasn't doing anything unusual." And they are right. They weren't doing anything unusual. That is exactly the problem, because the way they walk every single day has quietly become dangerous, and nobody ever told them. Today, I am going to change that for you. I am going to show you what is most likely happening in your walk right now, why it is putting you at serious risk, and the one simple change that can begin protecting you immediately, starting with your very next step. No equipment, no gym, just one adjustment that could genuinely save your life. Before we dive in, if you haven't subscribed yet, I recommend you hit that button and turn on the bell so you never miss another health tip made just for you. If you enjoy this video, type 1 in the comments. If not, type 0 to let me know how I can make better content for you. The problem: shuffle gait. Let me describe something to you, and I want you to think honestly about whether this sounds familiar. Imagine someone walking down a hallway. Their steps are short, much shorter than they used to be. Their feet barely leave the ground with each step, sliding forward in a low, shuffling motion rather than lifting cleanly off the ground floor. Their upper body is leaning slightly forward, their gaze is tilted down toward the ground, and their arms are barely swinging at their sides. They are moving carefully, deliberately, because somewhere in the back of their mind, they are aware that the floor feels less trustworthy than it used to. This is called a shuffle gait, and it is one of the most walking patterns I see in adults over 70. It develops gradually, so gradually that most people do not notice it happening at all. What starts as a little caution after a close call becomes a habit. The steps get shorter, the feet stop lifting, the posture shifts forward, and what feels like careful, safe walking is actually one of the highest risk movement patterns your body can adopt. Here is why. When your feet shuffle close to the ground, any irregularity on that surface, a rug edge, a slight rise in the flooring, a crack in the sidewalk, becomes an instant trip hazard. There is simply not enough clearance between your foot and the floor for anything to go wrong without it going very wrong. And because your steps are short and your weight is already pitched forward, the moment your toe catches something, your body has no time and no room to recover. The fall happens before you even realize you are falling. Shuffle gait also signals something deeper. The muscles responsible for lifting your legs, your hip flexors, your glutes, your core, have weakened from underuse, and the neurological connection between your brain and your legs has slowed down. The good news is that both of these things are reversible, and it starts with one change. The one change: heel strike. The change I want you to make is this: from this moment forward, every step you take should begin with your heel. This is called a heel strike, and it is how human beings are biomechanically designed to walk. When you are young and your gait is natural and unguarded, your heel hits the ground first with each step. Your weight then rolls forward through the arch of your foot, across the ball, and pushes off through your toes to drive the next step. It is a smooth, continuous rolling motion, and it is one of the most efficient and stable movement patterns the human body produces. But here is what happens over time. As the muscles weaken and confidence in our balance quietly erodes, that heel strike disappears. The foot starts landing flat or even toe first in a pattern that is shorter, lower, and far less stable. We stop rolling through the foot, we stop pushing off, we start shuffling. And with every passing month of shuffling, the muscles that produce a proper heel strike get weaker and weaker because they are simply not being asked to work. So, what does correcting this actually look like? It is simpler than you might think. With each step, I want you to reach your heel slightly forward, just a few inches more than you normally would, and let it make contact with the ground. First, feel the weight shift forward through your foot. Let your toes push off behind you as you step. And most importantly, Bob, lift your foot. Do not slide it. Pick it up, reach it forward, land on the heel. When you do this correctly, several things happen simultaneously. Your step length naturally increases, which improves your stability and forward momentum. Your foot clears the ground properly, which eliminates the risk of catching on surface irregularities. Your posture automatically improves. The heel strike pulls your weight back and upright out of that forward-leaning shuffle position, and your hip flexors, glutes, and core are suddenly being asked to work again, which begins rebuilding the very strength that protects you from falls. One change, one adjustment, but it triggers a chain reaction throughout your entire body that begins working for you rather than against you with every single step. Now, let me show you 5 exercises that will make this new walking pattern feel natural, automatic, and strong. Exercise 1. Conscious heel strike walk. Why it matters. Before anything else, you need to practice the heel strike itself, slowly, deliberately, and with full awareness. Most people who have been shuffling for months or years have genuinely lost the motor pattern of a proper heel strike. The neural pathway that produces it has faded from disuse. This exercise rebuilds it by asking your brain and your legs to practice the movement correctly, repetition by repetition, until it starts to become automatic again. How to do it. Find a clear hallway or a long open space along a wall. Stand at one end, with one hand lightly touching the wall for safety if needed. Begin walking, but this time, think about nothing except your heel. With every single step, consciously reach your heel slightly forward and let it land first. Feel the contact. Feel your weight roll through the foot. Feel your toes push off. Take 10 steps forward this way, turn carefully using small marching steps, and walk back 10 steps. That is one set. Start walking forward extremely slowly, almost like you are moving in slow motion. With every step, deliberately place your heel first, roll through the foot, and push off through the toes. Each phase of the step should be clearly felt and slightly exaggerated. Take at least 10 very slow steps forward, then turn carefully and repeat coming back. Complete 2 full lengths of the hallway. What to focus on? The key here is control over speed. Your heel should touch the ground with intention, not collapse onto it. Your weight should shift gradually, not drop suddenly. Avoid rushing the transition between steps. If you feel yourself speeding up automatically, pause briefly and reset your posture before continuing. This exercise is not about distance or fitness. It is about re-educating your nervous system so that walking becomes a controlled sequence again rather than an automatic shuffle. Progress tip. Once this feels stable on a flat hallway, try doing the same slow motion walk while lightly turning your head left and right as you walk. This adds a balance challenge and trains your body to maintain stability even when attention is divided, which is much closer to real-life walking conditions. Exercise 5. Obstacle step over drill. Why it matters. One of the biggest dangers in shuffle gait is the inability to clear small obstacles, curb edges, uneven tiles, cables, or rugs. This exercise directly retrains foot clearance and coordination. How to do it. Place a low object on the floor, such as a rolled towel or a small cushion. Stand in front of it and practice stepping over it slowly, 1 foot at a time, making sure your heel leads the step and your foot fully clears the object before landing. Alternate legs for 10-15 repetitions. What to focus on? Lift your knee first, then extend the heel forward and place it down with control. Do not rush. The clearance is more important than speed. Progress tip. As confidence improves, slightly increase the height of the obstacle, but only within a safe and controlled range. Conclusion. If you combine these 5 exercises consistently, you are not just exercising, you are rebuilding the entire walking system. Strength, coordination, balance, and neural control. The goal is for heel strike walking to become automatic again, so you no longer have to think about it consciously. And that is the real shift. Because once your walking becomes stable again, everything else, confidence, independence, and fall prevention, starts to follow naturally. Begin walking at the slowest pace you can physically manage. So slow that each step takes a full 3 to 4 seconds to complete. Lift your foot, pause briefly in the air, reach the heel forward, lower to the floor, feel the weight shift, push off with the toes, and begin the next step. Walk the full length of the hallway in this slow motion style. Turn carefully and return. That is 1 set. Complete 2 sets. What to focus on? This will feel strange. Slow motion walking is genuinely difficult because it removes all the shortcuts that habitual movement relies on. Every wobble you feel is your balance system being trained. Every correction your ankle makes is your nervous system rebuilding its responsiveness. Embrace the difficulty. It is the whole point. Progress tip. Try closing your eyes for 2 or 3 slow motion steps once you feel steady near the wall. This dramatically increases the proprioceptive challenge and accelerates the neurological adaptation you are building. Exercise 5. Obstacle step over. Why it matters. The controlled environment of a hallway is a starting point, but real life is full of obstacles. Rugs, door thresholds, pet toys, electrical cords, garden hoses. Every one of these is a potential trip hazard for someone with shuffle gait and low foot clearance. This exercise trains your brain and your legs to detect an obstacle, lift the foot high enough to clear it, and land safely on the other side. This is the exact movement sequence your body needs to perform in a split second when you encounter everyday obstacles. Place a pool noodle, rolled up towel, or another soft, lightweight object on the floor of your hallway. It should be about 4 to 6 inches high. Stand a few feet away with a wall or sturdy chair close by for support if needed. Walk toward the obstacle at a steady, controlled pace. As you reach it, deliberately lift your right foot high enough to clear the object comfortably and step over it. Then bring your left foot over, making sure it clears the obstacle completely. Continue walking a few more steps, turn carefully, and repeat in the opposite direction. Complete 5 passes each way for a total of 10 step-overs. Avoid rushing as you approach the obstacle. Slow down slightly, lift your foot before you reach it, and make a confident, controlled step. The goal is to train your brain to recognize obstacles early and respond with smooth, deliberate movement instead of reacting at the last second. As this becomes easier, gradually vary the height or texture of the obstacle. You can also practice while carrying a light object in one hand to better simulate real-life situations where trips often occur. Before starting these exercises, remember that your safety comes first. If you have recently had a hip or knee replacement, are being treated for plantar fasciitis or another heel condition, or your doctor has advised you to avoid weight-bearing exercise, speak with your physician or physical therapist before attempting these movements. Some exercises may need to be adjusted for your individual needs. Always practice near a wall, countertop, or sturdy chair. Never rush the movements. Wear non-slip shoes or go barefoot only on a safe surface. If you experience sharp pain, dizziness, or anything that doesn't feel right, stop immediately. No exercise is worth risking your safety. Progress gradually and allow your body to tell you when it's ready for more. Over the last several minutes, you've seen that numbness and tingling in the legs and feet after 70 don't have to be accepted as a permanent part of aging. Improvement begins by activating the small muscles in your toes, arches, and ankles, then gradually working upward through your ankles, calves, and lower legs to support healthier circulation and nerve function. Each exercise builds on the previous one, just as the body naturally prefers to recover. The seated toe and ankle wake-up starts the process. The ball massage encourages blood flow into the smallest vessels. The heel-to-toe weight rock reconnects your nervous system with the ground beneath your feet. The towel toe curl strengthens the small muscles that often weaken over time, while the controlled heel raise brings everything together into one dependable daily movement. When these exercises are practiced consistently, not perfectly, but consistently, the improvements can be meaningful and long-lasting. Nighttime tingling may begin to ease. Morning numbness often resolves more quickly. That heavy, disconnected feeling in your feet can gradually be replaced with greater stability and confidence. Better circulation comes through patience and repetition, not intensity. Small daily movements send a stronger message to your nervous system than occasional hard workouts. The long-term benefits go far beyond comfort. Healthy nerve function and stronger circulation improve balance, reduce the fear of falling, and help preserve your independence. They make it easier to walk to the mailbox, climb stairs, spend time with your grandchildren, and move through everyday life with greater confidence. That independence is truly priceless. Getting older doesn't mean giving up control over how your body feels. It means understanding which movements your body needs most at this stage of life and practicing them with consistency and purpose. These exercises are a simple, safe, and effective way to do exactly that. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Is your numbness worse at night, during the day, or after sitting for long periods? Leave a comment with your age and where you're watching from. Your experience may encourage someone else who is facing the same challenge. If you found this video helpful, leave a 1 in the comments. If not, leave a 0 and let us know how we can improve. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more practical health tips. Thank you for watching, and here's to living life with strength, confidence, and independence.